Hello, Lamb-like here. So this video is going to be a little bit old school lamb-like style. So if you were watching my videos back in 2018, I did a lot of these where I just used this webcam. I didn't use a microphone and I just talked and uploaded it. So if you don't like these videos, sorry, but I left my camera at work and I just wanted to talk about this while I'm in a YouTube mood, which isn't very often. Yeah, so this video is also going to be for my Patreon supporters. Every month I make a video for my Patreon supporters, so this one's for you. So thanks so much for supporting my channel and supporting my life, future life in Germany. It's really, really, I have no words. Okay, so, and thanks to all my subscribers, and yeah, so I hope you like this video. This video is going to be about my experience learning German, why I chose to learn German, how I learned German. I've been thinking about making this video for a long time. I was so bad at German, I just thought, like, I never thought I'd make a video like this, but now that my German is kind of passable, and I think I just used that word from Henrik from Love Island, Deutschland. I think he was the one using this word. I've been watching all the Instagram videos from Love Island, Germany, and because, yeah, I can't access German TV, and I don't want to do the VPN thing, so it's great. Like, if you're a German learner, oh my gosh, Instagram is the best tool, because on Instagram, they always put the captions, in German captions, so you can re-watch it if you didn't understand it, read the captions, and then, you know, it keeps replaying, and yeah, so I've been learning German through Instagram lately. Okay, but that's not how it began. That's a very new thing. So in this video, it's going to be, like, maybe my German viewers might find this interesting, how a foreigner learns your damn difficult language, but yeah, this video is going to be directed towards German learners, and maybe to give hope if you're someone like me. Like, I just always told myself, and I always thought, I am terrible at learning languages. I studied French for 4 years in high school. I was so interested in French. I went to a French camp in Minnesota, northern Minnesota, for like over a month, and I don't know what I even left with back then. So I always just thought, I'm so bad at learning languages, and after 4 years of French, I can barely say anything. So yeah, so German. I started to have an interest in learning German back when I first visited Germany for the very first time. I was studying in London at the time. It was 2015, I think. I had just turned 22. And yeah, so I'm currently 27. I've never talked about my age on here, but yeah, that's my age. And so yeah, I was 22, I was in London, I took a trip to Berlin, I did couch surfing at the time there, I met someone, and this guy inspired me to have an interest in Germany. That's how my interest began, and actually I've met a lot of people who told me the same thing, that their interest began because they started dating someone who happened to be from that country, and that's how they started an interest in that language and that culture. So yeah, that was how I began my interest with Germany and German. So yeah, and then Berlin, I've always had an interest in German history. So I decided after visiting Berlin and my amazing time I spent in Berlin and Frankfurt, I went to a music festival in Frankfurt at the time in 2015. It was World Club Dome. That was pretty cool experience. Glad I got to do all that before the pandemic. And so, when I came home, I decided I want to study abroad in Germany. I had found out that it's free for international students to study in Germany, and so I wanted to take this opportunity that I'd learned about, and I had always wanted to live in a foreign country longer than a year. That was always my dream. Living in a culture, submersed in the culture, all that. So I decided Germany. I don't even have to pay for it. Yay! Just kidding. Well, being an American, I had, I was paying $11,000 a year at my university in California, and so when I heard, oh my gosh, I can get a master's degree and I don't have to get $50,000 in loans or something, great. And I didn't really know what I wanted to study, so I thought that's also good for me, because I know you have to know what you want to study if you're getting a master's degree. Like, certain certificates don't transfer, and so yeah, I was like, okay, why not? Let's do it. What do I have to lose? So when I was in California, I enrolled in my first German class because I had 1 year left in university in California of my bachelor's degree. So I took beginner German A11, and the professor was amazing. He gave me all these tips. He's the one that showed me the app called dict.cc or dict.cc. It's a website and an app, and I still use it to this day. It's a great app. And also I learned the app called Anki, A-N-K-I, this app. It's a flashcard app, and it uses this algorithm. So you put in all the words you want to study, and they also offer some, like, you can find other people who've put public flashcards on there, and then it uses an algorithm to show you the flashcards in the order of how good you remember. So you rate it yourself on each word, how good you remember each word. So that's how I began learning German, and that app really helped me, and I should probably re-download it because my vocabulary is kind of stuck right now, and the only way is to keep studying, like, for me at least, it's like the flashcard style. And that guy I had dated in Germany, my first experience in Berlin, he was actually a translator professionally, and he showed me that Anki app. So that's what he did every day to keep up with his foreign language that he was a translator for. So there's a tip. And these lights are really bright. It's kind of hot. And so I thought I did terrible in this class. I was like, oh my god, everyone seems to be doing so well, and I thought I'm just failing. I don't know why. It was so hard for me. I thought, and it was really funny the first day in class, because this professor was so, like, oh my gosh. So he was like, Tour auf, Tour, I don't even remember now. He was just like doing crazy things all around the room, just speaking German, and his method, which was great, was no English. So, and that's also, in Germany, when I went to Germany, there was no English in any of the German classes, which was, like, at the time I was like, I don't get it. We don't speak anything. How could we learn? But you learn so much that way. And so, yeah. I'm thankful. And that first day in class, when the professor was like going crazy with all this German and like forcing people to speak, like everyone had to go in a row saying like, ich bin lamb-like, ich komme aus California, and then we all had to just speak a ton. And so this girl came in late this day. She walked in the room like 20 minutes late, and she's like, oh, sorry, wrong class. And he's like, no, what's your name? And she told him her name. And he said, oh no, you're in the right class. Sit down. Here we go. And she thought she was in the wrong class because I don't think she expected a beginner class to be this hardcore with German. Like, we were all just overwhelmed, and just everyone's jaw was like, like, what? We have to actually speak up. So that was hard for me, but yeah, unfortunately this professor had, I don't know, something happened in his personal life, so then we had a transfer of teachers, so then we got this girl. She was okay, but yeah, that guy, he was awesome. So I kind of lost some motivation towards the end of the class, but somehow I got an A. I don't know, I think the teacher gave everyone an A, so I don't even know. Mostly I learned numbers in that class. So then I was like, okay, I want to go to get my grad degree, my master's degree in Germany. I had a year left of my bachelor's degree still though, so I finished out the year. I didn't practice any German because it's really hard to motivate yourself when you're not living in Germany. I learned that. It's pretty hard. So that's why I've got Instagram now. I'm like, I have all German all on my news feed, all in the stories, so I can, because I don't like watching shows unless it's reality shows. So I went to Hamburg. I was trying to go to Berlin, but you had to be able to prove that you have B2 German, which of course I had A11. So I was like, okay, Hamburg had an English program, so that's why I went to Hamburg. Happy about it though, because I really fell in love with the city of Hamburg and I had a great time. And the German learning though wasn't very good this semester. This was 2016, I don't even remember now, but 17, I don't know. Yeah, so we had this teacher. She was like my age. She was like mid-20s. I don't think she ever taught before, and she was just going through the book with us, and it was just, yeah, so I didn't learn very much this semester, and everyone was speaking English, all the international students. So yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll work on my German later, I guess. So fast forward another year, then I got accepted into Oldenburg University, and I was like, here we go, like, and it was fairly easy if anyone's curious about applying to a school in Germany. I mean, it's pretty easy. You just go to the program you want. It took me a lot of research to find what program do I want, what feels good to me, what city do I like. I applied to 3 schools. Oldenburg accepted me. Munich did not. This other school did not. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to Oldenburg. Sounds good. It's near Hamburg. I like Hamburg, so if I seem hyper, it's because I had a cupcake and I'm apparently sensitive to sugar. Okay. And so yeah, in Oldenburg, the great thing about studying in Oldenburg, I don't know, I think some universities do this, I don't know about every one of them, but we were offered free German classes along with our master's degree. So as long as we were full-time students at the University of Oldenburg, we got to take free German courses at the university by very good professors. So I feel very thankful. I didn't have to pay like anything. This was my first time having free German courses. So they gave us this test to take, and I tested into A2-1, A2-1, which really shocked me because I thought, oh my god, apparently I remembered the whole A1 level, which I don't think I learned at all from A1, but okay, I did. I knew I had the numbers down pretty good because I used that Anki app. That's how I remembered, and I remembered a lot of things thanks to that Anki app. So yeah, so I started there at Oldenburg. I actually dropped out of my first semester in German because I was so stressed with a master's degree, and it was much harder than I thought it was going to be. And it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, this master's degree, which is why I left the program. I quit the master's degree 1 year later, but I still was taking the German classes, and they also offered intensive German classes, which I'm very thankful for. This intensive course changed my whole German learning life. I never had intensive German courses, and I think I need that because my attention is, I hop around a lot, so I needed this intensivity. And it was 4 hours a day, 5 days a week for a whole month. So I think it was 4 weeks or 5 weeks. And yeah, it changed everything. After this 4-week course, I could hear things. I could hear people saying sentences that it was starting to make sense. And this intensive course was I think the first one I took was A2-1, and then I took A2-2 at the university the next semester because they only had the first level for intensive classes. And so then I took the next intensive course the next year because I changed my whole program. Oldenburg offers this, like, if you can prove that you're accepted into a bachelor's degree program or a master's degree program, you can get accepted into this intensive semester German class for B2. So I was able to pass the B1 test, which is a whole nother video. Like, this test was so hard. It's called the C1, the C1 test, but it doesn't test you at the C1 level. It can, but like it's trying to see your level. So I tested at B1, and this test, people rely on this test to get their visa in Germany. So yeah, it was really sad. My first time I took this test, I failed and I had to go home and study all summer. And I came back at the university, took the test again, I passed, and that's how I was able to continue taking the B2 course at the university. My plan was to just learn German, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to study. Even though I applied to a program and they accepted me, I still wasn't sure if I wanted to study it. I just knew I wanted to be in Germany, study something in Germany, and yeah, so I'm very thankful to Oldenburg for letting this American who was a little lost along the way take classes at Oldenburg so that I could learn German. It was really nice. But, so yeah, I had my broken German. Still couldn't speak to people. Like, even though I passed B1, I couldn't really speak. And that's the purpose of language, right? It's to speak. And I keep hearing people around me saying, you just have to speak to people. Speak to the Germans. Speak to your roommates. But for me, I don't know, I can't explain why, but for me, it's just my personality, I think. For whatever reason, I couldn't force people to speak German with me because it's like torturing myself, and it was hard for me. So I needed someone to force me. And so I had met someone, we ended up dating. He could not speak, or he didn't want to speak English. I think he could speak some basic English, he didn't want to. So this relationship changed my German completely. So I don't know, the tips in this video isn't something everyone can do, of course. Not everyone can go date a German to learn German. Like, that's mean if that's your only reason. 2, yeah. And this video is going to be a part 2 because my laptop says it's dying and I'm talking a lot. So this is going to be part 1, and then I'm going to upload part 2 soon. So, but I'll keep talking until my laptop dies. So yeah, so through this relationship, it was a 6-month relationship. We spoke only in German, and half of our relationship was long distance because I didn't get my visa, so I had to go home. That was when I failed that first test. He told me he could help me pass my second test, and it was very nice of him. So yeah, so we just talked every day, and we sent each other voice messages every day, so that was kind of nice because I got to re-listen to his voicemail over and over and over, and if I didn't understand it, I'd actually, like, I'd ask my friend, I'd ask my friend sometimes, like, what is this word? I don't know what he's saying, and then she would tell me, and then I'd reply back to him like, oh yeah, yeah, like, then, yeah, so I was learning that way, and he couldn't, like, translate things for me, so it forced me to really, like, get my dictionary out, really figure it out, and then he had to explain things to me in German about what he was saying that I didn't understand, and that, like, at first I was like, how is this gonna work? But then I was learning things through him explaining it. Like, I remember once he said, like, das lohnt sich nicht, das lohnt sich nicht, and I'm like, what are you saying? Like, that was so hard for me to understand, this phrase, and he explained in German, like, so that phrase means it's not worth it, and I was so proud of myself when I understood what he was saying, and he didn't speak any English, and you know, so I was like, yay, I feel so good. So that's my recommendation. My tips is to don't let someone speak in English with you, even if it's easier and stuff, because I think you learn so much more. You learn all those other words around the word that you don't know when they're speaking German. So yeah. So then I came back to Oldenburg, then I was taking that B2 course. Very difficult. That's when I learned, okay, grammar is not, like, university level grammar is on another level. So it's in that course we were learning a lot about things you need in university, like how to describe a graph. Like, you know, like the curve in a graph, it's like, okay, the numbers are increasing, like you have to learn these words, increasing, decreasing, economy, like, you know, I don't know. So my motivation, it was really hard to keep my motivation up in this German class because it was so grammar heavy, and I just wanted to learn more how to speak, and I know it's hard for me to stay on topic, but so in the middle of this German class, I had been hit by a car, and if you've seen my video about that, that's what caused me to not be able to continue the class, and I was already losing motivation before the car accident, so I just thought, yeah. Actually, I wanted to go to class the next day after the car accident, but my boyfriend at the time was like, no, you are staying home. Like, I could not walk, and my head was swollen, but I wanted to learn so bad. So I dropped out of the B2 course, and then I was just living in Germany, and I had a month left before I came home or something like that. But yeah, that's gonna sum it up. How I started learning German was through classes and then through a relationship, and that's how I got to where I'm at now at this B1. I'm somewhere between B1 and B2, but it's probably more like B1. Like, there's so many things I need to practice, so when I go back to Germany, that's gonna be the things I'll be working on, like zu. This zu, I don't even use that in my German, and like werden. There's so many things I know in the classes that I struggled with that I need to work on. So yeah. And my boyfriend's German, and so I seriously, I don't mean to be meeting Germans. You can't help who you fall for in life. So yeah, so when I go to Germany, we have a plan to only speak in German. So you guys will be seeing on my YouTube channel my progression from where I'm at now to hopefully fluency, because I need to get a job in Germany and I need to work on my German. So the only way to do it is to speak German. Yeah, speaking. That's it. Oh, big tip. Oh my god, I should have mentioned this earlier. A big thing I was doing in my classes was I was getting a Sprach tandem partner, and so there's lots of websites. Just Google Sprach tandem partner, language exchange partner, and there's many websites and apps that you can use to find someone. And lots of Germans want to practice English, so if you're an English speaker, it'll be really easy for you to find someone. And what I did was always 30 minutes German, and then we would switch to 30 minutes English, and that helped me so much because I got to just like speak with someone, take notes, and then I would look at our notes before our next session, and I remember all the things that I didn't know last time, and it was amazing. I couldn't speak to my Sprach tandem partner barely at all, and then 6 months later, after meeting on Skype once every week, my speaking was so much better. So yeah, there's hope for you guys who think you're bad at learning or you don't know how you're going to learn this. There's hope. And also I'm going to link down below the textbooks I used. I really like these textbooks. Once you figure out the structure of them, I found it really easy. And I found a tutor online who helped me go through the textbook. So that's what I did for that one summer before I had to take that German entrance exam. And so we went through every chapter. Every week I went through a chapter in this textbook, and that was the same textbook we used in Oldenburg at the university. So yeah, my methods of learning German was textbooks for sure, studying the textbooks, getting the material from the professors and the teachers, and speaking with the people with the things I was learning in class, and also the things with the textbooks. It comes with a CD, and I always thought like, oh, homework, oh, I hate homework and stuff, but the CD, the little exercises it makes you do, you don't even realize it, but you start picking it up, like, because I remember I took a trip to Munich right after I finished this B1 and B1 2 textbook, which I'll link down below. After I finished these textbooks with my private tutor online, I was able to just translate things for my friends when we went to visit Oktoberfest, and they're like asking me, Lam, like, what does that say? And I'm like, I don't know. And then I look at it and I'm like, oh, I do know. So I started being able to see things and translate things. So yeah. So flashcard app, textbooks, classes if you can. If you can't, I'm just the type who I need. Well, in the beginning I thought I needed classes, but I mean, I learned the most I've ever learned was thanks to dating a German. So who knows? Maybe. And I know Ryan, the guy I did my last video with, he didn't use classes and he didn't use teachers, but I know he's doing definitely the flashcard method. He was telling me he studies like 10 new words a day, which is a very big tip. I still need to get better at that, studying 10 new words a day, or 5, whatever you can handle. And yeah, so anyways, hope this was helpful, and look out for part 2. And ask me questions down below that you want me to include in part 2 if I didn't answer it here. Okay.